I still remember the morning I realized something was terribly wrong with my eyes. I was 72 years old, sitting at my kitchen table trying to read the newspaper, but no matter how I adjusted the light or how far I held the page away, the words stayed blurry, hazy, like I was looking through a foggy window that I couldn't wipe clean. My wife, Susan, noticed me squinting and said what I'd been afraid to admit. Time to see the eye doctor. The eye doctor didn't waste time with pleasantries. Stage 2 cataracts, both eyes, progressing. He pulled out a diagram showing cloudy lenses and talked about surgical options, phacoemulsification, intraocular lens implants, recovery time, risks. The words washed over me while one thought pounded in my head. I'm going blind. But here's what that doctor never mentioned. Here's what most eye doctors won't tell you because it doesn't fit the surgical model that dominates modern eye care. Your eyes have a natural repair system, and it does most of its work while you sleep. What I discovered in the next 6 months changed everything. Not just for my vision, but for dozens of people I've shared this with since. My cataracts didn't just stop progressing, they regressed. Stage 2 down to stage 1. My morning vision went from blurry and struggling to sharp and clear, and it all started with one simple drink I began taking every night before bed. Now, before you think this is some miracle cure or expensive miracle pill scheme, let me be clear. This is about working with your body's natural clock. It's about giving your eyes what they desperately need during those critical nighttime hours when cellular repair happens. It's about a simple, inexpensive ritual that takes less than 2 minutes, but delivers results most people think are impossible without surgery. The medical establishment doesn't talk about this because there's no profit in telling you to drink something that costs less than $3 and is available at any grocery store. But the research is there, published in peer-reviewed journals, conducted at major universities. The science is legit, and the results speak for themselves. Let me tell you exactly what I did. But first, you need to understand why it works, because once you understand the mechanism, once you see how your eyes actually function during sleep, this will make perfect sense. Your eyes are under attack every single day. Sunlight, blue light from screens, the natural metabolic processes of vision itself. All of this creates oxidative stress, free radicals, cellular damage. Think of it like rust forming on metal, except it's happening to the delicate proteins in your lens. During your waking hours, your body is in survival mode. Energy goes to keeping you functioning, walking, thinking, digesting. There's not much left for deep cellular repair, but something remarkable happens when you sleep, specifically between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Your body shifts into repair mode. Growth hormone levels spike, inflammation drops. And in your eyes, critical repair mechanisms activate. The problem is that after age 60, your body produces 40% less of a crucial compound that drives this nighttime eye repair. It's called melatonin. You've probably heard of it for sleep. But what most people don't know is that melatonin is one of the most powerful antioxidants for eye health. It concentrates in your retina and lens at levels far higher than in your blood. Melatonin doesn't just help you sleep. It actively protects your eye tissues from oxidative damage. It activates cleanup systems that clear out damaged proteins, the exact proteins that clump together to form cataracts. Research published in JAMA Ophthalmology in June 2024 analyzed over 66,000 patients and found that melatonin supplementation significantly reduced the risk of developing age-related macular degeneration and slowed disease progression. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Other studies on cataracts, some going back to 1994 and confirmed in recent research, showed that melatonin inhibits cataract formation. In animal studies, it protected against the oxidative stress that causes lens proteins to denature and clump. It delayed age-related cataract formation. It even protected against cataracts caused by ultraviolet light exposure. Now you might be thinking, okay, I'll just take a melatonin pill. And you could. But there's a problem with synthetic melatonin supplements. They flood your system with an unnatural dose all at once. Your body doesn't know what to do with 5 or 10 milligrams of melatonin showing up simultaneously. It's like dumping a month's worth of rain on a garden in 1 hour instead of letting it fall naturally over time. Plus, synthetic melatonin often causes grogginess, vivid dreams, next-day drowsiness. It disrupts your natural melatonin production over time. Your body gets lazy. Why make melatonin when it's being supplied externally? What you want is a gentle, natural increase in melatonin that mimics what your body would produce if you were younger and healthier. You want it to arrive in your system gradually, paired with other compounds that enhance its absorption and effectiveness. This is where Montmorency tart cherry juice comes in. I know it sounds almost too simple, but stay with me. Montmorency tart cherries are one of the only natural food sources that contain meaningful amounts of melatonin, not just trace amounts, real, measurable melatonin. Studies have shown that drinking tart cherry juice increases blood melatonin levels by 84%, but it's not just the melatonin. Tart cherries are packed with compounds called anthocyanins. These are the pigments that give the cherries their deep red color. And anthocyanins are among the most powerful antioxidants on Earth. They cross the blood-retinal barrier, meaning they actually reach your eye tissues. They neutralize free radicals. They reduce inflammation in the delicate structures of your eyes. Tart cherry juice also contains vitamin A, critical for night vision and preventing dry eyes. It has vitamin C, which protects against cataracts and supports collagen in your cornea. The combination creates a synergistic effect. Each compound amplifies the others, and because it's food, not a pill, your body recognizes it, processes it naturally, absorbs it efficiently. Here's what I started doing, and what I recommend you try for at least 8 weeks before judging the results. Every night, about 2 hours before bed, I drink a half cup of tart cherry concentrate mixed with a half cup of water. Not cherry juice cocktail. Not sweet cherry juice. Pure Montmorency tart cherry concentrate, the kind you find in the refrigerated section or the health food aisle. Usually it's quite tart, hence the name, so diluting it with water makes it much easier to drink. I drink it slowly. Let it really sit in my system. Then I follow my normal bedtime routine, brush my teeth, dim the lights. Absolutely no screens for the last hour before sleep. That's it. Simple, right? Inexpensive. A bottle of tart cherry concentrate costs between $12 and $18 and lasts about 2 weeks. That's less than $70 a month. Compare that to cataract surgery at $3,000 to $5,000 per eye. Yikes. Or even compare it to eye vitamins and supplements, which often cost $60 a month and don't even address the real issue. But does it actually work? Let me tell you what happened to me. Then I'll share what the research says about timing and our body's natural clock. I started this whole thing in early March. My eye doctor had diagnosed stage 2 cataracts back in January. By the time I had my follow-up appointment in September, I was nervous. 6 months had passed. Cataracts don't reverse, or so I thought. They only progress, I'd been told. Best case scenario, mine had stayed the same. The doctor did the full exam, slit lamp, dilated pupils. He looked, then he looked again. Then he called in another eye doctor to confirm what he was seeing. My left eye had regressed from stage 2 to stage 1. My right eye, which had been worse, had also dropped to stage 1. The clouding was measurably less. The density of the lens opacification had decreased. He asked what I'd been doing. I told him about the tart cherry juice. He was skeptical, as doctors often are about anything that doesn't come from a pharmacy. But he couldn't argue with the objective measurements. More importantly, I could see the difference. My blurry morning vision, which had been the worst time of day for me, was dramatically sharper. I could read the newspaper without squinting. I could see street signs while driving. The halos around lights at night, which had been getting worse for 2 years, were barely noticeable. But I wasn't the only one. My wife, Susan, watching my results, started drinking the tart cherry juice too. She's 68 and had been complaining about her vision getting worse, especially for reading. After 3 months, she noticed she was reaching for her reading glasses less often. After 6 months, she could read most things without glasses that she'd needed them for before. I shared this with my brother Michael, who's 74 and had been scheduled for cataract surgery. He's always been the skeptical type, but he figured he had nothing to lose. He postponed his surgery and started the nightly tart cherry juice ritual. 4 months later, his eye doctor downgraded his cataracts from stage 3 to stage 2. The surgery is still postponed, maybe indefinitely. Now here's the science that explains why timing matters so much. Researchers have discovered that your eyes have their own body's natural clock, separate from your brain's master clock. During the day, light hits your retina and causes a cascade of chemical reactions. These reactions produce energy for vision, but they also create byproducts, damaged proteins, oxidative stress, microscopic injuries to your cells. At night, when light exposure stops, your eye cells shift into cleanup and repair mode. Damaged proteins get tagged and removed, new proteins get synthesized, cell membranes get reinforced. It's like a maintenance crew that only comes out after the building closes for the night, but this process requires specific molecules: antioxidants to neutralize free radicals, melatonin to activate the cleanup systems, anti-inflammatory compounds to reduce swelling and allow better circulation. If you don't provide these molecules, the repair doesn't happen efficiently. Damage accumulates day after day, year after year, until you have cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma. The beautiful thing about tart cherry juice before bed is that it delivers exactly what your eyes need, exactly when they need it. The melatonin levels peak right when your eyes enter repair mode. The antioxidants are circulating in your bloodstream, ready to neutralize the damage from the day. The anti-inflammatory compounds reduce the chronic low-grade inflammation that accelerates all eye diseases. You're working with your body's natural rhythms instead of against them. One study from Purdue University in 2022 found that disrupting the body's natural clock made eyes far more susceptible to light-dependent retinal degeneration. When the clock functions properly, it protects against age-related vision loss. But when it's disrupted by poor sleep, irregular schedules, or nighttime light exposure, the protection fails. Another study on sleep duration and macular degeneration, published in 2023, found that short sleep duration was associated with increased risk of early AMD. The connection is clear. Your eyes need sleep to stay healthy, and they need the right nutrients during that sleep to maximize repair. Think about what happens when you don't sleep well. Your eyes feel dry, gritty. Vision is blurrier in the morning. That's not just fatigue. That's incomplete cellular repair. Your eyes literally didn't finish their maintenance work. Now think about compounding that over years, decades: poor sleep, low melatonin production due to aging, not enough antioxidants in your diet, Is it any wonder that cataracts and macular degeneration are considered inevitable parts of aging? They're not inevitable. They're the result of chronic insufficiency, not giving your eyes what they need to maintain themselves. The tart cherry juice protocol addresses this insufficiency in the simplest, most natural way possible. But I want to be completely honest with you. This is not a miracle overnight fix. You will not drink tart cherry juice tonight and wake up tomorrow with perfect vision. That's not how cellular repair works. You're dealing with accumulated damage from years or decades. Reversing that takes time, consistency, patience. Here's what you can realistically expect if you follow this protocol. Week 1. Probably no noticeable changes in vision. You might sleep better. Many people report falling asleep faster and sleeping more deeply when they start tart cherry juice. This is the melatonin effect. Better sleep alone is worthwhile, but the eye benefits take longer. Week 2 to 3. Some people start noticing their eyes feel less dry or irritated in the morning. The gritty feeling that often comes with age starts to fade. This is early evidence that nighttime repair is improving. Week 4 to 6. This is where morning vision often starts to improve. You might notice that when you first wake up, your eyes adjust and focus faster. Things that were blurry for the first 30 minutes after waking become clear sooner. This is significant because morning vision is a direct indicator of how well your eyes repaired overnight. Week 8 to 12, objective improvements often become measurable. If you get an eye exam during this period, there's a good chance your eye doctor will note an improvement, whether it's in lens clarity, macular pigment density, or other key indicators. Subjectively, you'll likely notice better contrast, less glare from those blinding headlights at night, easier reading, and a much clearer distance vision, 3 to 6 months. This is when the most dramatic changes tend to happen. Cataracts that were steadily progressing may actually stabilize, or even regress. Macular changes? They might improve too. And if you've been teetering on the edge of needing stronger glasses, you might find your current prescription is suddenly working just fine. The key here is consistency. Every single night. 2 hours before you hit the hay. No skipping. Not even because you forgot or because you're traveling. Your eyes are quietly repairing themselves every night. Whether you give them support or not, so give them the tools they need to get the job done. Now let me address some common questions and mistakes I've seen people make. First off, the type of cherry juice you use matters enormously. You absolutely need Montmorency Tart cherry juice concentrate, not sweet cherry juice, definitely not that cherry juice cocktail with added sugar, and certainly not those artificial cherry-flavored drinks. Read the label carefully. It should clearly state 100% tart cherry juice or tart cherry concentrate. With absolutely no added sugars, sweet cherries simply don't have meaningful amounts of melatonin. The beneficial melatonin is specific to tart cherries, especially the Montmorency variety. If you buy the wrong product, you're just not going to get the results you're hoping for. Second, timing is absolutely crucial. 2 hours before bed is ideal, not first thing in the morning. Definitely not in the afternoon. The goal is to have those melatonin levels and antioxidants peaking in your bloodstream right when you're drifting off to sleep and entering that all-important deep sleep phase. That's when the magic of eye repair truly happens. Morning consumption, it might help with general inflammation, but it just won't target that critical circadian eye repair window. Third, you need to protect your sleep environment. The tart cherry juice is working hard to raise your melatonin levels. But if you then stare at your phone screen for an hour before bed, you're effectively suppressing that precious melatonin with all that blue light. Your entire effort is completely wasted. Dim those lights after drinking your juice. No screens allowed. Read a real book with a warm lamp. Let your body naturally prepare for sleep. Fourth, don't expect this to compensate for a terrible diet and lifestyle. If you're religiously drinking your cherry juice, but then consistently eating inflammatory foods, smoking, getting poor sleep, and spending 12 hours a day glued to screens, you're fighting a serious uphill battle. The cherry juice absolutely helps, but it's certainly not magic. You have to actively support your eyes in other ways too. Eat your veggies. Get some sunlight during the day to properly set your body's natural clock and get your body moving. Fifth, give it time. I've seen people try this for just 2 weeks, see no drastic change, and then just quit entirely. That's like planting a seed and digging it up after only 3 days because you don't see a tree yet. Cellular repair is gradual, cumulative. You're trying to reverse years of damage. It takes months, not just days. And finally, this is absolutely not a replacement for proper medical care. If you have advanced stage 2 cataracts that are severely impacting your day-to-day life, you may still need to consider surgery. And if you have wet macular degeneration requiring injections, by all means, keep getting them. This protocol simply supports and enhances your eye's natural repair processes. But it does not replace necessary medical intervention. What it can do is slow the overall progression, reduce your risk of future problems, possibly even reverse early-stage issues, and improve your overall quality of life. Even if you do eventually need medical treatment down the road, for me personally, the difference has been truly life-changing. I'm 74 now, and my vision is genuinely better than it was even just 3 years ago. I drive at night without that nagging fear. I read without any strain. I'm not facing surgery. I'm not dependent on increasingly strong glasses, and every single night before I brush my teeth, I pour that half cup of tart cherry concentrate. Mix it with some water and drink it right down. It's become as automatic as any other part of my nightly routine. It's my insurance policy, my investment in keeping my eyes as healthy as possible for whatever years I have left. And considering the alternative, considering the high cost, potential risks, and extended recovery of surgery, considering the very real possibility of slowly losing my independence as my vision fails, it's easily the simplest decision I make every day. This information has been buried for far too long, ignored, dismissed by an industry that often profits handsomely from procedures and prescriptions. But it's real, it's accessible, and it just might be exactly what your eyes have been desperately missing. Now, you just received something incredibly valuable. In the last several minutes, I've shared information that could very well help you avoid a $3,000 or even a $5,000 surgery. Information that took me months of research and dedicated personal experimentation to uncover. Information that most eye doctors will simply never mention, because there's absolutely no profit in telling you to just drink cherry juice. This kind of content rarely gets promoted by algorithms. It certainly doesn't get any funding from pharmaceutical companies or surgical centers. It exists solely because people just like you and me firmly believe that crucial health information should be accessible to everyone, not locked away behind expensive consultations and procedures. If this video has helped you in any way, if you're planning to try this protocol, if you truly believe that others deserve to know about natural approaches that actually work, there's something very simple you can do right now. Directly below this video, there's a super thanks button. You'll recognize it as the little heart icon. When you click it, you're not just supporting me financially, you're making a powerful statement. You're boldly stating that this type of information that empowers people to proactively take control of their health naturally, deserves to exist and reach a much wider audience. Every single super thanks helps this video get recommended to someone else who's been told that surgery is their only option. Someone who's genuinely afraid of losing their independence. Someone who deserves to know that their eyes are equipped with natural repair mechanisms that simply need the right kind of support. You're part of a growing community now. A community that steadfastly refuses to accept that. Declining vision is somehow inevitable. A community that actively shares valuable knowledge instead of just hoarding it. And when you support this channel, you're directly helping to build a free library of essential health information that could very well change thousands of lives. So if this has resonated with you at all, please click that super thanks button. Be part of the solution. Help us democratize critical health information, because your vision is absolutely worth it. And so is everyone else's. Let me quickly give you the complete protocol one more time, step by step, so there's absolutely no confusion. This is precisely what worked wonders for me, and what I highly recommend. Step 1. Purchase Montmorency Tart Cherry Juice Concentrate. You can easily find it at most local grocery stores, in the refrigerated juice section, at health food stores, or conveniently online. Brands like Dynamic Health, Brownwood Acres and Cherry Bundy are all reliable choices. Just be sure to look for 100% tart cherry concentrate with absolutely no added sugars. A 32-ounce bottle typically costs between $12 and $18 and should last you about 2 weeks. Step 2. Every evening, 2 hours before you plan on hitting the hay, pour about 1/4 of a cup or half a glass of that tart cherry concentrate into a drinking glass. Then add another 1/4 cup of water to dilute it a bit. That concentrate is really tart on its own. You'll want to mix it up real good. Now, some folks like to stir in a tiny bit of honey if it's too puckery for them, but try to keep the added sugar to a minimum if you can. All right. Step 3. Drink it slowly, over 5 to 10 minutes. Don't just gulp it down. Give your body a chance to soak it all in gradually. Step 4. After you've finished your juice, kick off your wind-down routine, dim the lights, turn off all screens, no TV, no phone, no computer for that last hour before bed. This is really important. The blue light from those screens will block that melatonin from working. You'll just be wasting all that goodness you just drank. Step 5. Make sure you're hitting the sack at a consistent time. Your body's natural clock, your circadian rhythm, loves consistency. If you're drinking that cherry juice at 8 p.m. one night and then 11 p.m. the next, you're gonna mess with its timing. So, pick a bedtime and do your best to stick to it. Step 6. Sleep in complete darkness if you can. Even a little light can screw with melatonin's effectiveness. Blackout curtains or a comfy eye mask can really help with that. Step 7. This is the big one. Do this every single night. For at least 8 weeks before you even think about judging the results. 12 weeks is even better. Consistency is absolutely key here. Now, let me throw a few more success stories your way, because I really want you to know this isn't just some fluke or weird thing that happened to me. This is happening for regular folks just like you, dealing with the same vision problems. Take Margaret, for instance. She's 76 and lives just down the street. She had early-stage macular degeneration. Her eye doctor was keeping a close watch on it, warning her that it might progress to the wet form, which would mean expensive injections. She decided to give the cherry juice thing a try after hearing about how it worked for me. 6 months later, her doctor was amazed. He said that the drusen deposits in her macula had actually gotten smaller. He said he had never seen anything like that happen without some kind of medical intervention. She's been doing it for over a year now, and her AMD has remained stable, no progression, and definitely no injections needed. Then there's Robert. He's 69. a retired pilot, and his night vision had gotten so bad that he had to quit driving after sunset. Too many halos around lights, too much glare. He said he felt like he was losing his freedom. After just 3 months of drinking cherry juice every night, he noticed the halos were getting smaller, and after 6 months, he felt confident enough to start driving at night again. His wife even told me that he was reading street signs and seeing details he'd been missing for years. And then we have Carol. She's 73 and diabetic, and as you may know, diabetes can really speed up eye problems. She was terrified of diabetic retinopathy. Her eye doctor found some early changes in her retina, a few small hemorrhages. She decided to commit to the cherry juice, along with being more strict about managing her blood sugar. 8 months later, those little hemorrhages were gone. Her retina looked healthier. Her doctor couldn't quite explain it, but the scans don't lie. Now, these aren't miracle cures. These are just regular people who gave their eyes the nutrients and antioxidants they needed during that critical repair window, and their bodies responded. And the science behind all this is actually pretty easy to understand. Once you get rid of all the confusing medical jargon, see, your lens is made up of proteins called crystallins, and when those proteins get damaged by something like oxidative stress, they start to unfold and clump together. And that's what causes the cloudiness of cataracts. But your body has built-in systems to prevent that from happening. Antioxidants that go around neutralizing those free radicals before they can even damage the proteins. Chaperone molecules that are designed to refold damaged proteins before they clump together. And cleanup systems that remove proteins that are too damaged to be saved. But all of those systems need specific nutrients to work correctly. And they all work best when you're sleeping. When your body isn't using energy for other things, melatonin is like the master regulator. It's what activates those cleanup systems. It makes the antioxidants stronger, and it reduces inflammation, which can really speed up protein damage. So, when your melatonin levels start to drop as you get older, all of these protective systems become less effective. And anthocyanins, the things you find in tart cherries, add another layer of protection. They're so powerful that they can neutralize those free radicals, even after they've already formed. They can even cross right into your eye tissues and get to work right where the damage is happening. And then vitamin C supports the collagen structure of your cornea and helps to regenerate other antioxidants. And vitamin A helps maintain the health of your photoreceptor cells and can even prevent night blindness. So, when you put them all together and take them at the right time, these compounds create an environment where your eyes can actually repair damage instead of just letting it build up. And that's why timing is so critical. If you just drink cherry juice in the morning, you'll get some general antioxidant benefits, but you'll miss that circadian window. The repair machinery in your eyes is most active between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. And you want those nutrients circulating in your blood during that time. So, drinking it 2 hours before bed means that by the time you fall asleep, melatonin and anthocyanins are peaking in your bloodstream right when your eyes need them the most. Now, can you just eat a bunch of whole tart cherries instead? Yeah, but you'd need about a cup of fresh or frozen cherries to equal half a cup of that concentrate. And let's be real, fresh Montmorency cherries are only available for a few weeks out of the whole year. So, the juice concentrate is just much more practical for daily use. What about tart cherry capsules? Well, the research I found focused on juice. The whole food form, with all the compounds working together, seems important. But if those capsules work better for you, that's your call. If you're on blood thinners, you definitely want to talk to your doctor first. Tart cherries contain a bit of vitamin K, and if you have diabetes, it's a good idea to keep a close eye on your blood sugar when you first start. because the concentrate has about 20 grams of carbohydrates per half cup. And if you have any kidney issues, consult with your doctor before starting. But overall, tart cherry juice is one of the safest things you can consume. People have been using it for centuries. It's been studied a ton. And there haven't been any serious adverse effects reported. And when you compare that to the risks of surgery, the benefits definitely outweigh any concerns. One last piece of advice, and this is a big one. Track your progress. When you start this whole thing, write down what your vision is like right now. How's your morning vision? Can you read without your glasses? How bad are the halos around the lights at night? How far can you see street signs when you're driving? Then, after 8 weeks, take another look. Write down what's changed. Then, after 12 weeks, check again. It's easy to forget where you started. Having a written record can help you see those gradual improvements that might otherwise go unnoticed. And if you can swing it, get a full eye exam before you start, and then another 3 to 6 months later. Objective measurements don't lie. Your doctor might be surprised, like mine was, or they might be skeptical. Either way, you'll have the data to show you exactly what's happening with your eyes. This is your chance to take control, to try something that costs less than a dinner out, but could save your vision, to work with your body. Instead of just waiting for it to break down, your eyes are actually repairing themselves every single night. The real question is, are you giving them the tools they need to actually succeed? For $70 a month, you can absolutely find out. I wake up every morning just so grateful that I found this before my stage 2 cataracts progressed to the point where surgery was unavoidable. Grateful that I can still read, still drive, still see my grandkids' faces clearly, and incredibly grateful that I can share this information with people who are where I was 3 years ago, scared, frustrated, feeling like decline is inevitable. It's not inevitable, not if you act now. If you're going to give this a try, please drop a comment down below. Tell me where you're starting from, what your vision challenges are, how old you are. I read every comment, and I'll respond to as many as I can in the next 48 hours. Let's build a community of people who refuse to accept that losing vision is just part of getting old, because it absolutely doesn't have to be. And if this video opened your eyes, literally or figuratively, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your parent, your spouse, your friend who's been constantly complaining about their vision. This information saves lives, or at the very least, it saves the quality of life. And that matters just as much. One more time for emphasis: Montmorency tart cherry juice concentrate, half a cup with half a cup of water, 2 hours before bed, every night, for at least 8 weeks. Protect your sleep, stay consistent, and watch what happens. This content is for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice and does not replace professional care. Always consult your eye doctor before making any changes to your eye care routine. Do not stop prescribed treatments. Without medical supervision, individual results may vary.